Here's my guitar. You know my guitar? Here it is. Give me a second. I want to adjust something. Probably gonna make everyone deaf. It's really hard to like adjust volume properly, but I kind of need to, if I want to do anything, I kind of need to get rid of noise suppression. So I can play like notes that are very low. Don't ask me to ever tune this thing by hand. I am an amateur. I suck at that stuff. So I have this nice thingy that helps me. I can actually see it. You can see the note there. I don't know if probably the camera doesn't help with that, but I can see it. Almost there. Come on. It's a hard one. Was that too loud? That last one. Hopefully I don't clip too much. Alright, let's see how bad I am at one of my songs. Like, hopefully I don't get that many mistakes. Tuning these guitars is such a pain. It is. It definitely is. So, no, actually I want this thing. Or do I want it? Do I want it? Do I don't want it? I want it. I don't know if I want it. Yeah, I want it. Fuck it. So people are doing noise in my house. It's actually low enough, so you cannot hear it, but I can hear it. So I'm gonna make some noise from them, cause I'm sick of this noise. and let's see how much I can do. Because again, I haven't played this one. There's one part that I always forget about that song, and also this chair isn't very good for this stuff. But hey, whatever. So, yeah, okay. was this part? Nice. Oh. Alright. Oh, that was good. It's been so long since last heard you playing. Yes. Yes, indeed. We just haven't got a whole lot of meetings. Okay, that was like, for my standards, that's like 90%. Like 90% good song. It's no, the song is great. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I got a lot of mistakes. You can't tell which ones because you don't know the song. But there was a couple parts that I forgot. There's the last part that is very difficult because of all the action. I always forget where the fuck I need to get my fingers here. Which is this part. It's like the last part where I do the it's like see, yeah. So that part. That is what is supposed to be there. So that's supposed to be the last part. And I always failed it because it's after all the action and my hands are a little bit tired at that part. So that song is called Rendo Taiso. That is the song. And it's in a weird language that I invented for a story, an old story that I also invented. It's written on Domiak, that is the name of the language and of the society that talks that language. And it means El despertar del espíritu, which in English is like, I don't know, maybe the right, is that word right? Of the soul, something like that. What does right even mean? Yeah, it could be like the right of the song, or like it's just that the wake up of the soul sounds so bad, right? Because wake up is like despertar, you know, but it's more of a higher despertar than that. And it's probably my best song, I would say. I have others. I have like 6 songs that I composed for solo guitar. I would say it's probably the best one in terms of dynamics. It's the one that has the most dynamics of like a lot of high parts and more low parts in terms of strong and sound and all that. And just because of that, I kind of put it high because I really like dynamics on music. One of my favorite things to have good dynamics. And I try to do on most of my songs, but some songs barely have any dynamics, honestly. Especially the tapping ones I have. It's really hard. For me, it's really hard to do dynamics on tapping on an acoustic guitar because it's so hard to like go for different sounds or different volumes on tapping because it's not amplified, you know. So I pretty much have to press every tapping very strong to even have any kind of sound. And then that kills the dynamic. So for stuff like this, like if I try to play that not that strong, I can still do it, but it's like but that's also very hard to do. Like it's harder to play like that than to play like this. It's much easier to like don't measure yourself on how strong you're doing this part. And so the songs that I have like that are like full tapping like this, pretty much the entire song sounds at the same volume, and so they don't have that much dynamic. I still like them a lot, but they're like also some parts are very difficult to play even, and I'm probably gonna change some of them at some point. Like that's part of the song too, but the first part of that song I have such a difficult time playing it, and I'm thinking of changing it. So it's before this part, before the I do this shit. What do I do? I do. No. No, yeah, I think it was it. So that figure is very complicated, and it doesn't even sound that great, honestly. It's just that I needed something to do before that part. And so then that connects into that. And the thing is, pretty much every time I play that part, I played wrong. Like, I don't hit every single song because of how awkward it is to play it. And then you go to the other part. But I might just change that. And you see, that like the feeling of this song is nothing compared to the previous song I played. So it's like kind of like the intro of one of the songs, or the first part. It's not really the intro; it's just the first phrase, if you want. But he has this role. Like, it's a very complicated song too. It's much more complicated than the other one, but it still doesn't sound that much better, in a way. You know, there's a lot of that in music too. But yeah, I really enjoy the other song. I probably made it rendo Taiso. I think I made it on like 2010. I started making it, which is kind of started as a slap exercise for guitar, because I play bass, but I then started playing guitar after bass, because I felt like on guitar I had more tools to express myself alone. Because it's hard for me to play with other people. It's hard for me to, like, usually when you get to play with other people, you start with covers, or at least that was like the meta on my time. Like, a bunch of kids will meet to play on a band, and they will mostly just play covers, and I always wanted to play new stuff, compose stuff, and I actually composed stuff for bands, but it was like very difficult to convince people to play new stuff back then, unless you like are a music academy, I guess, or something like that. Then you are supposed to compose stuff, I guess. But I was like fully amateur. I think what I like to call myself is like outsider music. It's a term I kind of discovered a month ago, and I think it's pretty good, because like most of my music I done it by ear. I barely know anything about theory. Like, if you tell me play like E major or something like that, I don't know what that means. I know what an E is. I think this is an E, right? We call it mi, though, in Spanish. We don't use the other system with the single letters. So I know what single notes are. I can deduce them. Like, I know this one is the same as this, and so I can calculate where a note is. But if you tell me like the E major chord or whatever, I have no idea. I know some forms of chords, like there's like the typical, I think some of them are called like power chords, I don't know. But but I kind of just do what sounds right for me. And so that one started as the first part started as a slap exercise just for guitar. So like that part is slap on guitar. So the same thing you would do on a bass. So I'm like actually like plugging here, and I kind of do the same for the other part. Like this part is very pop, like the pop of the bass. And then the other part, the part on the middle, the weird bridge, it started as a harmonic exercise. The part that goes like that part, because I needed some kind of exercise to do harmonics, but like to put it on a song so it would actually like make sense, not just make harmonics for the sake of doing them. And then the other part, it just evolved like that naturally eventually, like and then I started like putting layers and layers to it, you know, because that part, it started very simple. It was something like that, like and it's very repetitive if you think about it, as simple as it is there. Like I'm pretty much playing these 3 strings like on 0, like just the free string over and over. So it's very repetitive. And so to make it less repetitive, you start adding layers to it. And so that's why I started making more and more layers. So that included the harmonics. So okay, so then you can start like adding some dynamics to it. And one dynamic that I really like is also borrowed from slap, which is like just like hitting these strings with this hand to mute them, or to kind of do this sound. So okay, and then there's another layer which is using the sound that the chords do when you do this, right? Which is something like Tom Morello does this with like effects on electric guitar and stuff like that. So you add that, so and you alternate then, so it's not that repetitive. And then you add more harmonics on the next succession, for instance, like so it's the easiest harmonics to play, the 7, 5, and it's kind of 3, but it's not really 3. It's this one. There's another one on 4, but I like this one for this progression. That it's like a little bit after 3, and the 9 just don't quite work with this progression. Those are also easy, and of course there's the 12, but they're too far for the commodity of this part. So you get all those ideas for layers, quote unquote. So I get all of them together on like this bridge part. I alternate different ideas, and so that gives dynamic to the thing, and it doesn't make it boring. Because if you just play the same part over and over, for me at least, it gets very boring. I like, that's something that happens to me with music when artists Like you hear a chorus that sounds the exact same on the same song like 3 times. It's like, come on, make something more interesting, you know? Even if the chorus is amazing, you know? Like I need that dynamic stuff. And then it's the same thing, but then I go one string up, you know? You see, all these ideas are ideas about forms, not really ideas about, oh yeah, you go and augmented four and this progression on this chord. No, no, no. I'm just like, okay, I'm doing this on this string, and then I'm doing this on the next string. That's it. That's why I say that it's outsider music. And so it's the same thing here. Like, and now instead of I do it one note before, so instead of I do, and then to give more spirit to that, I do with one more. Which is like using the same scale. I know a little bit about scales. I don't know how to identify them, but I know like more or less what kind of progressions I need to do. I'm not that fast with it, but like this one I know by heart because it's the scale I use on pretty much all my songs, because it's a scale that works with all the strings free, like 0 string if you want. So I use that a lot, and that's why I know those. And yeah. So that's Rendo Taiso, and a little bit of commentary about it. One day I'm probably gonna record it properly without mistakes, but it's so hard. Like that version is already pretty good. I can probably get at least something out of that. I would say most, like I said before, like 95 of that was pretty good. And so I could like edit an edited version of the song that is full, you know, like a splice version if you want, just like on speedrun. A human restricted TAS of my song.